Hey, my name is Jonathan. I am a third year biomedical engineering student at Toronto Metropolitan University. My project for the ZON100 course has been to effectively start up and progress through the creation of a 3D printing company where I make and sell models based off of video games I really enjoy. Um, One game in particular has been my focus for this entire course, which has been Lost Ark, because there's a significant lack of merch due to being an Eastern video game played in the Western audience. And so, one thing that I set my goals for in this course uh, was to make a model of one of my favorite raid bosses in the game, and I was going to be marketing this to my guild members and getting it out to them and seeing if, and like in the various discords I was in, and seeing if anyone would be willing to purchase it. Because if I sell 5-10 units, that's fantastic. That's more than I would have expected to do otherwise without this course. Um, this project started off from the ground. I owned a 3D printer and I had never used it before. And I have since pushed it all the way to creating my first model, which I actually have the version 2 baking right now. I'm completely based out of my own apartment here. And I have my printer operating in my bathroom. But the print is currently still stuck to the print bed. I gotta take that off, do some prep to it, clean it up, and then it'll go into the washing and curing station, which will blast it with UV, so that way the resin actually cures. And that'll be that for the print. I forgot I had this on. Uh, Zone, it's been a difficult journey, to be honest. I've struggled a lot with this project simply because it's one of those things that has, like, it very easily could have stayed like a side project that I do on my own time that I could put aside for, weeks on weeks on weeks if I needed to. But because I made the choice to do it as a class project, it's put that fire underneath me to actually get it done and to meet goals and to meet deadlines for it and to actually have meaningful progress as I go through the project. Um, and what else has helped me in this course is the level of encouragement and enthusiasm that's happened within the class itself. Um, Mostly the bi-weekly sessions where we kind of have like a smaller discussion to just kind of update on how our project is going, and it's being in a group of people that are like-minded and creators, and they have their own projects, but they have some similarities to my own, and it's building off of that, which has given me like the drive to be like, well, if they can do it, why can't I? And so it's definitely helped me be like, okay, if I want to look good in this class, I have to keep up with these guys. And so I have, in my opinion, kept up with them. And it's just been fantastic to be part of a like-minded group of individuals and to actually have the contacts to to bounce questions off people instead of just asking yourself and doubting yourself, and you'll get that instant response. They have that kind of experience because everyone has comes from different walks and has learned many different things from their entire life or their courses and anything like that. And so it's helped me avoid setbacks that I've had. For instance, for me, it was actually building the models themselves because I have such a high quality printer. The model itself, uh, a lot of if there's any defects in the modeling process, like if it's low poly, it'll show in the print because of it. And it's just been like an iteration thing, you know, uh, technique questions, asking for opinions on where I am so far that has just pushed me beyond to where I am right now. Uh, and it's the time management that is my biggest setback for this project. There have been days where I don't want to work on it. There have been weeks where I don't want to work on it, but being part of the Zone 100 team has definitely like made me work on it, and I've gotten over those hurdles now. And now that I'm past them, I'm relieved that I'm past those hurdles. Um, one of the best feelings though was definitely having people react to I brought in like a little test print. I only ran like a calibration print to check the accuracy of certain things, but I was able to bring that into the class and actually, pass it around as on one of our discussion days, and everyone looked at it and was surprised by it. I got to talk about one of my passions, which I always love doing, and it was it was one of those moments where I'm like, yeah, this is where I'm meant to be. Um, from my end users, I want to call them end users, but I have 6 people lined up that are like, let me know when it's fully ready. I am willing to buy. Um, and the model in question, this is the. Can I swap the camera? No, I cannot. Well, the model in question I have here on my monitor, and you can see that this is actually the low poly version. So all of this kind of lack of detail on the legs and whatnot would have shown up and actually be felt by the touch. So I went ahead and made a higher poly version already, and that's actually what's on the printer there. But they're very excited for that, and the prospect of being able to have merch from the video game that they've been playing, but like like I said, it doesn't exist from the official retailers and the creators of the game. They're very excited to have that on hand and have that in person. And so I'm actually using these 6 people to work out pricing as well, because a lot of these people I would consider my online friends, so I'm not going to gouge them. But because of that relationship, it's a fantastic way to get an honest answer about like what they think the product is worth, rather than me just putting out a random price without actually knowing. And so right now we're landing in about $80 to $120 range for one of these figures, which is a fantastic break point on my end. Um, and it's just nice to see the product at a state where it's like I have something physical that can be shipped out. On the questions here, it says, "What did you learn about yourself?" I've definitely learned that I'm not good at working proactively. This course has definitely helped me improve in that, but it's just more so like I have the creative capability to do these kinds of things. I just need to apply myself and actually put the hours in to get something on paper, or in this case on the computer or on the printer. And it's definitely been an awakening for, I can do this. Um, how did you advance in your field slash industry? I did nothing new. Honestly, I just identified a niche and I'm filling said niche. As far as I know, I'm first on the scene for this, which is fantastic. The next step for the project is, as I showed in the model, uh, this is the raid boss, but she has a special throne she usually sits on, and right now, obviously, the throne is missing from the scene. So it would be to model that throne and make sure that she fits on it, and then I'd be shipping the 2 models together. I'm keeping them separate for painting purposes because some people like customizing the models themselves. Otherwise, one of the next steps is to get in touch further and actually send these off to local Toronto miniature painters, so that way they can give me a quote on like how much it would cost to actually use airbrushes and paint something like this for me en masse. Say I send them 5 units and they paint all 5 for me and send them back to me. That'll of course add to the cost, but some people rather have a painted model than just a gray unpainted model. Um, a piece of advice I would have given myself from the start: is just work on it. Don't leave it for last minute. I do it a lot in my schooling, but just don't leave it for last minute would be the best advice I can give myself. Takeaways from Zone 100. What was the value of this course? The biggest takeaway from Zone 100 is there's no bad idea, and anything can be seen through to completion as long as you give it the time. Having those people around me and having the full support of the team. For instance, if this figure sells well, I've made contacts in this course where I'd be able to go and be like, hey, I want to get this injection molded so I can make it en masse rather than, made to order. And it's things like that that have really helped me with the project. And I wouldn't have done this project wouldn't be where it is without Zone 100. I think that is the biggest takeaway. This project would still be on the back burner, still be an idea, to be honest, and would not have something physically being made at this point in time. Um, and yeah, I think that's my big takeaway from this. I've loved the course through and through, and on the one hand, I'm sad to see the course be over, but I still have the contacts I made from this course, and I still have my project. So it'll continue to live on even after this course is done.